So I'm going to redo the videos on building a data warehouse, and then I'll make a second video on populating it. So this is the assignment, and it goes through, and you need to restructure the data to resemble this design, which is what they call a star design. So we'll do that in a moment. I want to real quickly just go to pages. I added a page. Your page thing won't look like this. You won't see so many. But creating the data warehouse, and I added a few notes there. So one of the things is I just want to say that the traditional relational model of a database isn't best for analytic processing, which they call OLAP, online analytical processing. The database is rearranged into dimensions and fact tables. Dimensions are groups of attributes that describe the data, and fact tables consist of attributes that can be used to measure for those calculations, for aggregations and analysis. Fact tables also contain links to all the dimensions that describe those measures in forms of foreign keys. So let's go back to the assignment. Okay. So we need this diagram. One of the things that I am going to do is I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to make it a little smaller, and then I'm going to make this smaller, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this over here, and then I'm going to pull this up so I can see them at the same time. Then I'm going to go to PG Admin. And I think I'm going to move this over a little. Okay. So I have those two things together. So what I'm going to do is under databases, I am going to create a database. And we're going to call it Tech Certificates DW. DW for Data Warehouse. I'm going to save that. Slowly. Alright, so now I have Tech DW. So I'm going to open up a query tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to create these tables. So I will do create table, and we'll start with dim course since it's there. Alright, and I'm going to give each of these a serial data type. So this is course ID. I'm going to make it serial, which, as you remember, makes it so that it self-counts. And I'm going to make it a primary key. And then there's just the only other field is the course name, and that's just text. So that's our first table. Then I'm going to make, doesn't matter what, let's do dim instructor. So create table, dim instructor, and these are dimension tables. Again, in dimension tables, just give you the things that describe the data. I'm doing the instructor name here. In real life, I'm not sure we would ever need their name. So I'm going to do instructor ID, and then I'll do serial, primary key, and I will add instructor name. That's text. And I'll do a semicolon. The semicolons are important if you're going to run them all at once. If we go over here a little bit, let's see if I can move it over. I'm going to make this a tiny bit smaller so that I can see that there's dim cert. So I'm going to create table dim cert. And it only has the certification name and the key, so I'll do cert ID. Serial, primary key, comma, and cert name. Text. Okay, we'll do the semicolon, go on to the next table. Dim quarters, that looks good. So you guys are going to create these tables, these exact same tables. You don't have to adjust them. So this is going to be quarter, spell it right, quarter, ID, serial, primary key. This one has a couple of fields in it. It has the quarter name, which will make as text, and it has the quarter year, oops, which we want as one thing, and it'll be integer. Again, another semicolon. And then the last one is the student. So I'm going to do create table dim student. And a couple of things again. I don't think in a real life analysis you would include the student name, but I did. When it says integer up there, you can do serial, again for a count. All right. Student name, text. We're also going to include the address. That will be text. And we'll do the city, which will be text. Make sure you get all the letters in there. And we'll do the state, which will be text. State is a keyword. I should have used some other word for that, but I didn't. Postal code will be text. And then no comma after the last one, but a semicolon. Now there's one other table, which is the fact table, which is right at the center here. So I actually gave you the code for that, and I'm going to highlight that, and I'm just going to copy it, and then I will paste it in here. All right, let's move this over just a bit. You can see that it's all there. The primary key consists of all of the foreign keys together plus the school fact key. I am going to run all of these. It says it was successful. One of the ways you can tell it's successful is if you go into the schemas and you look under tables, and you'll see that all the tables are in fact there. Okay. It's important that the school fact be the last table because it requires all of the other foreign keys to exist. All right, so that's creating the warehouse, and it has all of these tables and all these relationships. All these create the foreign keys. So I am going to stop the first video. It's that easy. So we'll do the second video here in just a second.